Good morning and welcome to Thursday Thyroid Talks, hosted by yours truly, Sarah Lohman. I'm here to provide you with real life experiences from thyroid warriors who have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, Graves, and or Hashimoto's thyroiditis. This series is my way of giving back to the thyroid community in order to help combat the loneliness and isolation that so many of you are feeling. I provide that support by holding space for women from my thyroid community who volunteer to talk about and share their thyroid journey with you. But first, a quick message from my sponsor. There has never been a more important time than now, seriously, right, you guys, to keep your immune system strong and healthy. Monolaurin is one of the top natural supplements for immune and digestive support. I personally love monolaurin and have used it for years because of its natural antiviral fighting properties against pathogens causing my own thyroid illness. With over 200 plus academic references exploring its immune health properties, the company Natural Cure Labs decided to formulate a unique blend of monolaurin and provide a naturally derived product supported by industry experts and research. Monolaurin is one of the top natural supplements for immune and digestive support. It's carefully extracted from lauric acid, which is a beneficial fatty acid found in coconut oil, with some incredible immune supporting research. All right, let's dive in, guys. Bear with me while I bring our guest on. Hi, can you hear me? Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Hey, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's 7 p.m. here in Italy.
Yes,
So actually it's a good evening.
I know for you. Thank you so
And
much for your time. I appreciate you being here.
no, thank you
Yeah.
for the opportunity. And I just want to say that I understand every word, but I'm out of practice, so my conversation skills might not be excellent. So sometimes
Oh,
I'm gonna
your English?
need your help.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
I'm here for you, girl. I got your back.
Okay. Okay.
So,
And well, where do I start? I was born in Canada, and when I was 3 years old, my mom noticed something on the back of my tongue because I was coughing. I had asthma, and I was coughing with my mouth really wide, and she saw something. It was like a tiny little something, a tiny little ball,
land or something. Okay. Yeah, like a little ball. Okay.
like a little ball, a tiny little ball. So she was very worried. She rushed me to the Children's Sick Hospital of Toronto. And the doctor said that she was just an Italian mother. She was worried, and there was nothing to worry about. They didn't see anything, so they sent her home. And she was 22 years old. She was very young. So and she didn't speak English very good. So uh, she just went home and said probably. But she noticed something. She saw it.
Mhm.
After 3 months, the same thing occurred, and she brought me to the hospital again. And she said, "I'm not leaving if you don't tell me what this tiny thing is in the back of her tongue." And that was when they first I was diagnosed with agenesis, with thyroid agenesis. I was born without a thyroid,
Okay.
and it was not a very rare case, but it was rare because I was okay. I was a little girl. I was 3 years old, but it was all normal. And in my development. And so the doctors said it was a kind of a miracle because they said that I could have had problems with my heart and with the other organs. And I could have been like in my development, my height would not be right. But they said that probably it was because she breastfeeded me,
Mhm.
and so breastfeeding with
Mm.
her hormones like kind of helped me. But if my mother didn't notice that thing, that was my thyroid that never developed. That was it. That little tiny ball
Huh.
was was my thyroid that had never developed when I was when I was in the womb, no, when I was uh,
Mm.
about to be born. So they said that in a couple of years I would have serious problems,
Mm.
even cognitive problems. So they started the therapy, and it was what in Italy it's called tiroxina, thyroxine. I don't know how do you say it in English.
Thyroxine, yeah,
Thyroxine.
a hormone replacement.
And I'm on thyroxine since then. Obviously in different percentage, like growing up. Now I'm 49, so since then I'm in therapy. um, why do I like talking about this disease? I know there are a lot of diseases in the world, a lot of people are suffering, but this is a kind of invisible. Like I have tests, and they're all okay, but it's natural because I have my therapy, and I use it. Like, I never forget to take the pill in the morning. I always wait half an hour before having a breakfast or eating something. And but it's like I struggle a lot because I have all the symptoms uh, of um, of someone who doesn't have a thyroid, or a thyroid that doesn't work. I'm always tired. I don't sleep. And so I take not medicines, but I try natural things to sleep. Melatonina. I don't know how do you say it in English.
Yeah,
Melatonin.
melatonin, yeah.
Melatonin. And I try to avoid some food that they say that implies a kind of decrease in the functioning of the thyroid. But I don't have a thyroid. Well, I have the pill that I take every morning. And I struggle with weight, so I'm always um, overweight, and then I lose a lot of weight, and then I gain a lot of weight. It's like it's ups and downs since I was a teenager, and I sweat. My head sweats, and I have very thin hair. When I was 5, 6 years old, I had alopecia. Alopecia. How do you say it?
Yeah,
I lost all my hair, and it was for the thyroid.
but it all grew
But sorry,
but it grew back.
it grew back. It was not all at once. It's like I lost it here, and then they grew back, and then I lost it here. But my mother said that it went like it just all my head. I lost all my hair. But she was she tried to protect me because the kids could have make fun of me, and so she just put the hair where the hair was. I really didn't suffer a lot because like when old men they lose
Oh,
hair and start putting their hair. So that's what happened to me, and I didn't suffer for that thing because I was small. I don't know, but there's a lot of symptoms, and you can have your lab tests, and they're all fine and they're all okay. And the doctors say, okay, this is your therapy. So now you weigh 80 kilos, so you need to take this amount of thyroxine, and that's it. But they don't actually explain how we can feel better, because I think that's, in a nutshell, that's what we're talking about, how to feel better, because we know what the therapy is, but how we can feel better, trying to use natural products or trying to avoid something, or and all these problems with like hair. I don't have any, like I don't have, that's good because I don't spend a lot of money.
Yeah, you don't have to get lasered hair removal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I still do, but not as much as others. And but I lose hair, and they're very thin, and my skin is often dry, so I use a lot of products. And the heartbeat, it's called bradycardia. I don't know.
Palpitations, the heart,
Sorry?
the palpitations, the
Palpitations,
flutter.
but even a very slow heartbeat. So, and I
You
think
have
that's
a low blood pressure too.
very low blood pressure, very low blood pressure.
Mhm.
And obviously, for I work, so I get up every morning. I go to work, and it's tough. Some days are tough,
Yeah,
and I understand that even though a lot of people suffer from this kind of disease, not mine, but similar, with people who have a thyroid, but it doesn't work well.
yeah.
And we just like, it's kind of, no, so wait, I have my translator. I'll try to say the word.
Just describe it too, and I'll help.
Um, we are resigned. Like we
Uh,
just say, okay, that's it.
yeah,
Mm, we
resign.
can't
That's the perfect word. Yeah, resign.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. And when I was a teenager, I had, until I was 15, 16. Then I moved to Italy. I was already in Italy. I moved here in 1983, so I
From
was 11 years
Canada.
old, from Canada. And I'm Italian. My parents are Italian, and I had the X-rays of my forearm and my hand up until I was 15, 16 years old, because they had to control if my development was okay. And they had tests to see if I was okay, if I understood.
Oh wow.
And yeah, because when you don't have a thyroid, as I told you when I wrote, you can suffer from dwarfism and cretinismo. That means you don't understand. You're a kind of cognitive.
Slow, cognitively slow. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's it. That's my
I mean, it makes
story
sense.
in a nutshell.
Wow, that is. I actually have never met anyone yet that
I was born without.
was not born. We had another guest who was born with hypo, and very similar story to yours, as far as symptoms and whatnot, and like medicating since she was a baby. So, but that is interesting. I had a lot of questions along the way, so I'm trying to think back. Um, because I'm not familiar with the medical system within Canada and Italy, but I have learned from you guys, from talking to you guys, about how it's very much. One girl described it to me of like, I never get to see the same doctor. It's always
Oh,
a different doctor every time. So it's really hard for thyroid warriors, especially, to get the care that they need or the tests that they want, because they get a different answer in a different person. Is that what you've experienced?
it happens here too. But since if I don't have problems, I go once a year, and I pay the visit, and I get to see the same doctor.
Okay.
Okay. So if you go, like, it's exactly what you said. It's the same thing here. You don't see the same doctor, so they don't know your history. They see your tests and they say, okay, it's fine. Even if you say, well, I'm not feeling well, but your tests are okay. They don't know what your history is, and you can't always say, you know, I was born without it's the same thing here, actually.
Yeah, you don't have the time. They don't. So it's all data driven. Your
Yeah,
doctor's appointments are all data driven.
always.
Yeah, and if you're outside of the lab range, you're fine. So have you have you raised your dosage, lower your dosage, raise your dosage? Has there been a lot of back
A
and
lot of times, because when I was pregnant, I had my test every 2 weeks, because it was, and I was worried for my kids, but fortunately they don't have any problems, thyroid problems. So
cool?
as soon as they were born, I just made them, they got a checkup, that from that point of view, and they were okay. But actually, when I gain weight, I have to have more thyroxine. When I lose weight, I have less thyroxine. When I'm on more thyroxine, I eat much more, and so my metabolism doesn't work. It's like zero, and you put the pill, and then you go, but it's not the same thing. So yes, ups and downs on different, how did you say it, levels of thyroxine?
Yeah, dosages.
Dosages, yes. Yes. Now, now that I'm all grown up, I'm 49. It doesn't happen often. But when I was a teenager and when I was in my 20s and 30s, yes, it changed several times.
Yeah, and that is very hard on your
That's
system.
hard too.
That's very hard on your system. It's hard on you emotionally too,
Yeah. Yes.
because we all know when we go to put our jeans on and they don't fit,
They don't.
it makes
Yeah.
self-esteem go down and your confidence go down,
Yes.
and then that's not a fun game. Wow. Um, Let me think back. Uh, so your mom sounds like she really helped out a lot,
Oh yeah.
watching over you growing up. You didn't end up with any abnormalities in your development,
No.
thank goodness.
I think.
But it sounds like you went through a lot with this as a child, with the
Yeah.
testing, developmental testing.
Yes. Every year, and different symptoms, and I was tired, but and I thought it was the low blood pressure, and I thought it wasn't related, and the heartbeat, well, it was slow, very slow heartbeat sometimes, and I thought it wasn't related, but then I saw a doctor, and she said it's all related.
Yeah.
It's not, like it's not casual, it's all related. Your low blood pressure and your slow heart rate, and the fatigue, and I'm always kind of tired, and so yeah, when I get up in the morning, it's very tough, uh, even because I don't
Yeah.
sleep well,
Tell me more
and that's
about
related
that.
too.
So you've always had sleeping trouble since you can remember?
Since I remember.
So do you lay awake thinking? Do you toss and turn? Does your body?
Toss and turn, lay away thinking, get up, drink a glass of water, then go back to bed. And now I go to bed very late, and then because I know I'm gonna sleep 3 or 4 hours, and those 3 or 4 hours are not like straight. I wake up, and obviously I had problems with. I had a little bit of depression years ago. Very, like, I don't even want to say it's depression, because I know people that suffer and it's not that case, but I was a little bit, like, in a
Yeah.
place that I didn't want to be, and I had panic attacks. Maybe they're not related, but I didn't sleep, so it was kind of all
Out of
messed up.
whack. Yeah.
maybe it was even the period I was in university, so I was studying a lot. I had a lot to study, and I had a lot of things to think about. But I think that the fact that I don't sleep a lot, that is related to the thyroid problem. I think that was a factor that influenced all the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it all starts going into a snowball.
Yeah.
And but what I had terrible sleep too once
Mm.
upon a time. And it same thing, it seemed like no matter, I mean, I could take a high dose of like melatonin, like 5 milligrams or something, and it would definitely conk me out solid for like a couple of hours. But I have a small bladder, like a naturally small bladder. Like I
Me
remember
too, and that means I have to go to
all the time. I pee all.
all the time.
I remember when I was getting my sonogram, like an ultrasound of my cervix when I was pregnant, and they were doing the special check of the baby, and the technician says to me, "Wow, you have the smallest bladder I've ever seen." And I was like, I knew it.
That explains everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get up quite often too.
Yeah, so it was like my body would wake me up, screaming to go to the bathroom, and then it was always the tossing and turning and the thoughts and the anxiety and then the
Anxiety.
thoughts
Yeah.
and then the anxiety and then
Yeah,
tossing and
it's
turning.
all
Yeah, it was just one big looped nightmare. And then you are already fatigued, and then you add insomnia on top of that, and you are just in la zombie land, and it's impossible to function, let alone think, especially on top of the brain fog. And you do turn into a very, um, it's depressing because
yeah,
you,
sometimes.
yeah, it
Maybe
can
my
definitely.
story is a little bit sorry if
No, you're fine.
it's a little bit different because I was really a baby. I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
So uh, when it happens to you when you're a teenager or when you're older, it's difficult. For me, it's like normal style of life. Like this is how it always was and how it always will be. But now that I'm old enough to understand that probably there can be a different way to deal with this
Mm.
because it's not that serious because we live and we have happy lives and we have children and we go on with everything. But I just would like not to feel so tired all the time. I would like to have, uh, that mm, freshness and that strength and that sometimes I do have. I'm not saying that I'm always like on a chair, but I am like here. It's very hot outside,
Mhm.
really, really hot, and I'm like I'm dying. I'm on a chair. I can't get up, but I have to. So it's normal for me because I was born with this disease. So it's kind of normal. I understand that people that have problems with the thyroid that occur when they're in a different age, it's really more difficult, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because you can remember feeling normal.
You can remember feeling better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
I never felt better than this. It's
Were you
kind of
like a little girl up playing with your dollies on your floor, and your mom was like, "Why aren't you sleeping?" And you're like, "I don't
you tell me.
know." Yeah, exactly. I just don't sleep. Well,
And another thing is that nobody in the family has it. Like sometimes the doctors say, they go back and say, well, how about your grandparents or someone in the family or no one, no one else.
wow, it's unique, and I think I was just listening to a really great podcast this morning about how these things that we are handed or things that we go through, some people being born with them, it's it's there's a special reason why they're given that particular trial, or something comes from it that they can help other people with. And
Yeah.
there's many lessons that come out of it, and strength.
Yeah.
And um, so your story is resonating with me on that level of the like you're doing right now. You're sharing your story. You're helping with this awareness. And
I hope. I hope so.
absolutely.
And to reach even the medical system,
Mhm.
because the doctors that are specialized, sorry, you correct me if I'm um, saying it wrong. They should take a look at the whole situation of a person that suffers with thyroid. They can't just look at the tests, and they can't just say, okay, but your weight, your height, your like, how about your blood pressure? And okay, you're done.
Mhm.
Keep with this. They have to actually give you some suggestions
Yeah.
to improve your style of life.
Yeah.
Maybe if when you talk to people and you say, look, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that too. I didn't know that blood pressure was related to the thyroid. I didn't know that the heart rate was related to thyroid. When someone knows that, or isn't aware of actually suffering from the thyroid, because a lot of people suffer from thyroid diseases, but they don't know,
Mhm.
and they don't get diagnosed like, and so they suffer and without any reason.
Right,
um,
which is even harder.
which is even harder
Which is even,
because they don't understand what's happening.
yeah.
What's happening? Why am I so tired? Why can't I sleep? Why am I losing hair? Why? And so they, if you talk about it, maybe someone will hear it and say, "Oh, that's exactly how I'm feeling." So
And that's why I feel like this is important to bring you amazing
I
women.
thank you for this opportunity. I hope my story, um, help someone. Maybe they don't know that all these things are related, and maybe doctors, that when you see a doctor, they should be, not that we're patients, but they should be patient
Yeah.
and listen to all the symptoms, because sometimes it seems like what I said at the beginning of our talk, it's invisible, it's an invisible disease. I'm perfectly like healthy, and like I said before, we can have kids, we can do anything, and but it's invisible, and that's why it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, and because you don't look sick, like a
You
physical.
don't look sick, exactly.
Yeah, we can do our hair and our makeup, and we can put cute clothes on, and we can look great. But on the inside, we're
Yeah,
screaming, and it's like pins and needles and the fatigue, and you're just chugging the caffeine to try to make it through the day, but you have anxiety.
exactly. With the caffeine, I was addicted.
Yeah.
I was addicted to coffee,
Mhm.
and it's not the American coffee.
No,
It's the
yeah, you guys got espresso and all the good stuff. Yeah.
and all the good stuff. It's really strong. So I was like, every 2 hours I had a coffee. Now I'm done with that, and it's over a year since COVID. I stopped taking. Well, I have coffee, but not
Like
uh,
living on it. Like
like before. I was like every 2 hours,
yeah.
because I was stressed on work. So every 2 hours I was like having coffee, and I'm done with that too, because that gave me palpitations, and I actually didn't feel better.
Yeah.
It didn't give me the energy that I was expecting.
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, did you have massive panic attacks at the same time?
Sometimes, sometimes.
I literally would do the same thing. I would go to Starbucks and I would get a really strong coffee. And then I would drink like half of it and then sit in my truck and shake and like
Shake.
have it basically like be on the verge of a panic attack until I realized like, what am I doing? I just totally did this to myself. Like this I can't do
Yeah,
this. This
I
is,
can't do this.
yeah, I gotta
So the
stop.
interesting thing, another thing that I would like to share is that for the sweating, I sweat from here to here. That's it. And the doctor said that it could be related because, with the thyroid. And so another doctors, when I told them I have this problem sometimes at night, but I'm anxious. I have anxiety and stuff. So they said, okay, why don't you take some soya? Is that how you say it? Soya? No. Let me find the word because
Sure.
soy, soy,
He told you to take soy?
soy in pills. And then I found out that it was it wasn't good for, like it wasn't
Yeah.
the doctor for my thyroid problems. It was another doctor. But I told them that I had this problem. And they said, look, you can take these soy pills because it gives you, it relieves you from the sweating and stuff. Then I went to my doctor and I said, I just started taking. Why? No, you're not supposed to take it because you have to avoid it. I said,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So soy, first of all, oh, yeah, the misdirection. It's just like, ugh. I mean,
Because they don't speak, they don't, it's like,
yeah,
they should, it should be some kind of networking, and it's not.
yeah, yeah. And it's that way here in the States too, because we are very much like all of our body parts are broken up into pieces. Like you said, you got your GI doctor, you got your endo, you got your primary, you got your, OBGYN. It's like, and that was what I originally was going to go be a registered dietitian. And then I realized what you said, it really struck me when you said that is like, with what I've been through, I know that I need to provide, like you said, whole body wellness, spiritual. There's 8 dimensions, just so you guys know, 8 dimensions to our wellness. And I found a school, a really great accredited, they call it the Ivy League of coaching. And that was their thing, was teaching coaches how to heal in all 8 dimensions. And I was, so I I have often wondered myself why there is such a disconnect, and when I'm a history buff. I don't know if you love history. So I researched back into when did our medical system turn into these slivers of the body,
Oh,
and it actually was in the early 1900s. And
because before it was all
we
like,
right before that, before the big money came in and started taking over the universities and dictating the policies and teaching the doctors what they were going to doctor in, we had homeopaths. We had,
yeah, I know.
we had the what are the women that help you with birth? Um,
Yeah,
is it medullas? Yeah, it was all one whole body of wellness. And so that's where it's our job almost, is, it's like that's where we have to step up and ask the doctors questions. Why? Why do you think this? Why won't you do that? You really have to push back and challenge them, and be that advocate for yourself.
yeah,
And the one thing that I also learned on my journey too is I flipped the script from them telling me what to do to me telling them what to do. So I would walk into every single one of my appointments and I would say, this is why I'm here. This is what you're going to do for me. And this is what I want. And when I really took charge of the situation, like the bull by the horns, and I started leaving no room for anything other than what I demand, because you're working for me and I pay you. You know, my insurance company pays you or whatnot. It I saw a shift in my level of care, and so I, you know, encourage everyone
to do
to do
yeah,
that.
to do that. And it comes with like growing up, and somehow, not, I'm not talking only about age, but growing
Yeah,
up, I mean, in the situation that each one of us lives.
yeah,
And I sort of do that too, uh, but now, because when you're younger, like, you just say, okay, you're the doctor. I'm the economist. You're the doctor. So I come here because you have to tell me what I need.
yeah,
It's not always that way. You know what you need. They have to tell you how to accomplish it, like how to get there
yeah.
where you need to go.
Right. And thank you for saying that, because I definitely want to speak to the younger women and the younger generations, because I have a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-old women coming to me
And
who,
that's important,
mhm,
because if they, even for their maybe pregnancies or something, they can
right,
have problems. Like, I'm
exactly. And so I love the way you said that, when we're young, we're still trusting and naive, and we very much look at them as the saviors.
the
Our,
saviors,
our,
exactly, exactly.
yeah. And then when you've been through this for a really long time, you realize that that's changes.
Now it's 49 years.
Yeah.
49 years, it's just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been through it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I definitely love to empower. We need to empower each other with that ability to go in, and don't be scared to ask why. Don't be scared
Right.
to challenge. Don't be scared to be unsatisfied and complain.
Yeah.
And
And understand and feel ourselves. Like you said, there were eight dimensions.
mhm.
If you feel something and you feel it's not okay, ask, because it could be related.
Yeah. So thank you for saying that too. I had someone ask me or ask about whether or not they should drink. Their doctor told them to stop drinking celery juice,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me, when the doctor was saying that to her, she had a very strong feeling that the doctor was wrong. And
Oh,
and I was like, that was your intuition screaming at you. You need to listen to that. That is extremely important. It never lies to you, it never steers you wrong, and it's there to protect you and guide you. So us women are so smart. In Our intuition is so smart, and we are in touch more than we know. So if you get a little whisper, you get a little gut feeling, follow that. But I wanted to speak to your heart problems and your palpitations and everything. Um, that is very common as well. I had that too. I had very low blood pressure and very low heartbeats, and I would get lightheaded when I stood
mm.
up very easily.
Very easily.
Yeah,
Very, very easily.
I would see stars. Yeah, it was almost scary, because you kind of feel faint from it.
Yeah.
And I had some doctors actually scare me because they're like, your blood pressure's so low. And I was like, I'm going to die.
I'm gonna die. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing. When I was a teenager, I always fainted.
Mm. When you stood up or just in general?
No, in some situations, but it occurred, like it was something that happened quite often, but
Wow,
now it's stopped. Not
interesting. I wonder, maybe your heart grew and or something, or
probably there was something, but they never said it was related, so I don't know.
interesting. Yeah, their heart problems or heart symptoms, I guess I'd like to say, are extremely common. Uh,
Yes.
I pretty much had a heart attack when I was pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah, they didn't diagnose it right, but I know I had a heart attack when I was 6
oh,
months pregnant. And I was, because my doctor decided to move offices in the middle of my pregnancy,
oh,
and I was unmanaged for about 2 months. And when you're
oh,
pregnant, when you get pregnant, the baby absorbs a lot of your medications. So you have to
yeah.
increase your dosage. I would have to go up.
That's why I went every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Every 2 weeks, I changed, not changed, but I controlled the dosage
right.
and eventually changed it because of what you're saying.
Exactly. And so when you said that, I totally related, because my doctor moved offices in the middle of my pregnancy, and they were giving us, like, of all us patients, like a false sense of reopening. And
Hmm.
during those 2 months that I was completely unmanaged and not being watched, my TSH went from, like, where it was normally like a 1.5 up to almost like a 5. And
Oh,
I experienced a heart attack at
oh
work,
my gosh.
and it was terrifying. It was so painful. And but it passed about 3 it was about 3 minutes. And then I drove myself to the hospital that was like
Oh,
5 minutes away. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm pretty sure I just had a heart attack. And they're like, okay. And so they laid me on a bed, hooked me up to the EKG, monitored my heartbeat, and they're like, you're fine, and sent me home. And so,
terrible,
yeah. And so the next day, my
terrible.
OBGYN, yeah, it was scary. My OBGYN opened up the next day. So I called him and told him what happened. And I went and saw my doctor for the first time, showed her the EKG, told her what happened, and she took me out on disability right then. And every 2 weeks, I was going and I would sit in a recliner, and they would strap a machine to my arm and they would watch my heart and everything. I was a high risk pregnancy as well. And but after that experience, I started having even more heart problems, and I had to see a lot of cardiologists. But all the cardiologists told me my heart was fine. And then I started noticing that, and I'm curious if you've ever related it to. Okay, so first of all, the caffeine. It'll get you. It messes with your heart, okay?
I
That's
know.
undeniable. Um, but stress.
Stress. I was really stressed, and I changed my job. I was really, really stressed. Before I had a job that was very stressful,
Yeah.
and now it's different, and I really like what I do. But actually, for what concerns the heart, I had in my 30s, I went for a checkup, and they found it that it was I don't know how to say it in English. It was bigger than normal.
Mm.
It was it was a little it was it was under stress. I don't know how to say it better than this.
Yeah.
It was abnormally bigger than it was supposed to be.
Mm.
And but they said don't worry about it because probably it's because of all these things, even thyroid. They told me that it could have been related. And I live with this condition.
Yeah.
And but I didn't have severe problems. Like your story is like terrible, and that didn't happen, fortunately.
Yeah.
But I still have it. It's like it's somehow under stress.
Yeah.
It's a
Interesting.
little bit bigger.
Yeah. So it grew. So it enlarged itself to compensate. It compensated for something,
Probably, yeah.
probably. Yeah. Um, And that usually because an athlete's heart will do that. An athlete's heart will grow bigger because of just how much it's pumping and how much they
Exactly.
work out.
Probably it pumped a lot and it
Yeah,
pumped too much.
right, right. So that's interesting. I wonder.
But I didn't have problems with I didn't have a lot of problems. Another thing is my nails.
Mhm.
That I spend a lot of money.
You can't, they don't grow, you mean they're too weak?
Very, very weak.
Yeah,
Very, very weak.
yeah.
And they always told me that it was related to my condition, not having the thyroid. I was born without this important gland that regulates all your metabolism. It's very important. It's not the heart, but it's important.
And thank you for saying that, because going back to the segregation of body parts in the system, um, I have been very much impressed also to speak about protecting your thyroid. I feel like maybe the system is just tired of women complaining, and they just say, oh, let's just take it out. And it's just,
Ah, okay.
and they're tired of their symptoms too. And they'll be like, sure. And then,
Let's take it out.
yeah, get rid of it. I'm going to be better.
Because probably they think that it will solve the problem and they'll feel better once
Yeah.
Once it's gone.
Right.
And it's not true.
It's not true. And one of my last clients, she had a full thyroidectomy, and I got my hands on her after 4 years of just a nightmare of symptoms.
Oh.
And it was, I helped stabilize her. She's doing fantastic now, but I even had another client tell me that they tell you it's going to take you 5 years after your surgery to start feeling normal again. I'm like, does that really seem like a good idea? So,
sorry, Sarah, I don't see you anymore. Do you see me?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, here you are. Sorry. I lost the screen. Okay.
Okay.
Here I am.
We have about 15 more minutes and then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, I really want everyone to understand what she just said and how important that is, and how you need to protect it and try other therapies first. Just like she said, that try the things, eliminate the foods you need to eliminate the environmental toxins, bring in your nutrients, see what's going on in your gut, do the mineral testing. There's so many things that we can do, so many things
before
that we can do to find out and help you, just without cutting it out, unless it's absolutely necessary, of course, but don't just get talked into it out of convenience type of thing, and
well, here in Italy, for what I understand, they're preservative, like they're conservative. They don't actually suggest to take it out unless it's something like it's cancer or something really, really serious. And in general, for everything, even for your, how do you call it when kids have tonsils? Exactly. They say, let's see if we can take care of it in another way, and if it's necessary, then we take it out. So that from that point of view, it's like it's not the easiest way out here. So
that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I feel like.
But on the other hand, there is absolutely not no culture, but a very low level of what you were saying before. Fruits and vegetables. Eat what you need to eat to help your thyroid, or avoid some kind of food, or try to see what minerals, etc., can help you.
Mhm.
Absolutely very, very low, uh, I say, culture in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why I joined your Instagram page, because I saw that you were talking exactly about uh,
Yeah.
this kind of approach to this, to all the diseases that are around the thyroid, even mine, because mine is not even considered a disease.
Well, I was gonna say with you, like, from my experience personally, when I was my own guinea pig, um, and I started really diving in on my body and asking my body, please tell me what's going on. What do you need? What's wrong? And I stopped just looking for help through the system that just didn't want to help, like you said. And it started slowly revealing everything to me. And I was extremely nutrient deficient. Extremely. I I mean, I had to go black hair because my hair was so thin and falling out. My old pictures, I don't have very many of
You
them.
needed to disguise it with
Yeah,
by
yeah. But
because blonde is seems thinner.
but I was shown that I was missing a lot of the key nutrients in order to grow my hair, in order to sustain my hair. And then I went blonde and it all fried off. But I have been taking specific herbs and supplements that help with that. And it's real. There's mineral imbalances to our nails and to our skin, and there's toxins coming out of our liver that can and up into our bloodstream, and that push up into our epidermis layers of our skin, and can be causing the psoriasis and the eczema and the acne. But it's all internal based,
Yeah.
and so we really got to look inward and ask our bodies, please reveal to me, what is it you need, and practically every one of my clients is anemic. They have no vitamin D. They have no magnesium.
I was on vitamin D for years.
Yeah. They have super low to no sodium. No one, everyone has been scared away from salt.
I use sale iodato, well, salt with yod. I don't know how to say it. Yodio.
Like
Let's
a
see
sea
if I can.
salt or Celtic.
It's I don't use a lot of salt, but how do you say it? Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Iodine.
Uh,
Iodine.
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 It's salt with this iodine supplement.
I
I
hear you.
use all my family uses it.
I hear you. And that is another crucial thing that I post about a lot on my stories. I don't know if you've seen it, but
Some of your stories. See,
the
I have to turn on the light because it's
oh,
getting dark.
okay.
Okay,
I
here I
forget it's nighttime there. Uh,
am.
I mean, iodine is crucial. Our thyroids cannot function if we don't have iodine. But iodine supplements, or it's not you have to be careful with minerals, because you can't just start taking iodine unless you know what you're doing. You need
Yes, of course.
to know what's going on with your other minerals, because they all intertwine with each other. And so that's why when I talk about iodine and the importance of it, I really encourage you guys to get it through your food, because it's safe and you're not going to like push yourself over the iodine
Yeah, yeah.
in it, and
I agree. I agree.
and so you really want to bring in the sea based foods, the kelps and the dulse.
And the sea, I'm lucky because I live like in a place where I can go to the sea in 15 minutes.
Nice.
And so you can just breathe
Yeah.
all, everything. And it's I feel better since I'm in Italy,
Mm.
and this is something sure about it. But a lot of people here suffer from thyroid diseases. There's a very high percentage of people that suffer from thyroid diseases,
That's
especially hypo.
that's interesting you say that because I have noticed an increase of women following me from Italy in particular.
Yeah,
I'm going to speak more to you Italian women though.
to Italian women.
Yeah, and you guys are all so cute with your accents. You're all so cute. Um, I actually did a really great um, interview with a woman from Italy, and she has a page called Bastau Graves, I believe, and it was all about low libido and why we have no sex
Oh,
drive. So that's a
that's another problem.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. We don't want to talk about sex. We don't want to talk about sex drives. And we don't want to talk about pooping, but we all have issues with all of those.
Well, exactly right. That's another. Maybe you can talk about it another a whole other hour dedicated to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right too.
Yeah. So if anyone's wondering
I
what,
forgot.
yeah, if anyone's wondering why they have no to low sex drive, you can go on my YouTube or my IGTV, and there's a fantastic interview.
I'll do it.
Yeah, check that out. And yeah, let's bring in the conversation around pooping. I have been noticing that something I've been purposely trying to put that out there on my stories more. Like the other day, I posted a picture of that I was eating dates. And I pointed to the fact that they were really high in fiber. And I'm like, helps you poo. You guys, we need to talk about this. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I
Well, it's I don't feel uncomfortable. I think it's because now I'm at a certain time of my life that I don't feel uncomfortable talking about it. But I understand that maybe younger women might feel uncomfortable, but I think it's useful to
yeah,
talk about it because maybe they say, "What's wrong with me?
yeah,
There's something wrong."
it's cool.
Especially with the fact that they don't have a sex drive because they're young, they're experiencing, maybe they're at their first experiences and they say, maybe something's wrong with me. And they don't think it's caused by something organic.
Yeah,
Organic in Italian, I mean something related to a dysfunction.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
they think it's all psychological and it's not true.
No, yeah, it's not true. And I know that it's hard on relationships, like
Yeah,
really hard on relationships, especially
yeah.
the younger girls with the men that have the higher sex drive still. So I definitely encourage everyone to go listen to that. And I just wrote poos. I'll do a live on going to the bathroom.
I'm going to the mouth. Let's talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this great opportunity. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you, even though it's so far away, 9 hours. Uh,
I'm so
it's amazing, though, if
it
you
is.
think about it.
I know. We're on opposite ends of the earth and we're here chatting. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much.
thank you.
I am honored to meet you. Welcome to my community. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if if you want to stick around for the closing thought, you're welcome, or you can just go ahead and close your screen now, and I'll touch base with you on messages when I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you again.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
And good luck. And I'm going to continue following you for all your precious advice.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Wow. I have chills. She was amazing. I love meeting you guys. Oh my gosh. Every story is so different, but yet so similar. And you can see how no matter where you are in the world, you're you're not alone. You're not alone with what you're going through or what you've been through. And so in closing, I'd like to invite you guys to leave a comment below this video. Let us know if you liked it. Let us know if you have any questions. It definitely makes us feel good to be able to hear your feedback or any like aha moments that you were impacted from. And please, if you know anyone, a family member, a friend, a sister, anyone that needs to hear these thyroid warriors stories, so we can also let them know that they're not alone, please share this video with I'm going to download this onto my YouTube, so you can share it through an Instagram link, or you can share it through a YouTube link. And if anyone is interested in being a volunteer for any of my future series, please DM me anytime, or you can email me at coachsarahjoy1@gmail.com. Thank you so much for all of your time, you guys. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.